Alright, so 1, 2, and 3 are all about SOH, and remembering that sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, tangent is opposite over adjacent, and the reciprocals, cosecant, secant, and cotangent, you could just flip those aspects. So it gave us that the sine of x is 7 over 25. It also told us that it was an obtuse angle. Obtuse angles are between 90 and 180, so I draw my triangle in the second quadrant. So the stick man's chilling over here at the origin, and you label it through the perspective of that angle view. So opposite over hypotenuse. Now some of you might have memorized the 725 Pythagorean triple. If not, you use the Pythagorean theorem, where this is the hypotenuse. This is negative not because the side of a triangle is negative, because to the left of the origin, it's a little trick to build in the sign, S-I-G-N. To the left of the origin is negative, below the origin is also negative. So keeping that triangle in mind, the 24, 7, and 25, with this being negative, we can get our remaining trig functions. I mean, sine we didn't even have to, cosecant we didn't even have to draw the triangle, because once we knew sine of x is 7 over 25, we knew cosecant is reciprocal. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, or negative 24 over 25. Secant is its reciprocal of negative 25 over 24. And tangent is hypotenuse, opposite over adjacent rather, 7 over negative 24. I normally don't need the negative on the bottom. It doesn't matter if you pull it out or put it on the top. And cotangent is negative 24 over 7. So that's your basic SOH. But number 2 is a little bit just finding the inverse, using your inverse, because we're trying to find an angle. And it didn't put it in the XY coordinate plane, so I just draw a triangle. So this is my right angle here, my hypotenuse. They told me that the right angle was DOG, so angle O is your right angle. And I'm positioning myself in angle G through that perspective because they're asking me to find angle G. So if cosine of G is adjacent over hypotenuse, then I can find its inverse by doing cos negative 1 of 7 over 8, and I get that degree measure. Now, I didn't put the degree measure down here. I went right into the calculator and I did second angle number 4 DMS, which is degrees, minutes, seconds. You have to recall that 1 degree is 60 minutes. 1 minute is 60 seconds. So it's all about the number 30, whether to round up or round down. If something is greater than 30, you round up. If it's less than 30, you round down. So this set it to the nearest minute. So this is not 30 or more seconds. That's a second symbol. That's a minute symbol. That's the degree symbol. This is not 30 or more seconds. So you just truncate it, and you get your 28 degrees, 57 minutes. Now for the third question, they want me to find the secant of theta. And they tell me that the coordinate that I have is negative 5, 4. So when I plot negative 5, 4, that's the coordinate right there. And I drop a perpendicular. There should be a right angle symbol right here, forgive me. And I draw my right triangle. So since cosine happens to be adjacent over hypotenuse, to find secant I need hypotenuse over adjacent. Now all I have is that this is negative 4 and this is negative 5 and that's 4. And how do I know that? Because if that coordinate right there where I'm pointing is negative 5, 4, I went to the left 5 and up 4. To get this, don't fall into that catch-all that you think it's a 3, because it's not. The hypotenuse will be the longest side of the triangle, and this is a hypotenuse, so forgive me I didn't put that right angle symbol there. So I had to use the Pythagorean theorem. And I got radical 41 is my hypotenuse. So, for secant, it's going to be hypotenuse over adjacent, or radical 41 over negative 5, or negative radical 41 over 5. So that's basic SOH.